What's up again, guys? Yeah, it's me, your friendly neighborhood Dovahkiin, and welcome back to Let's Play Divinity Original Sin 2. And before we begin, be sure to hit on the subscribe button for more great videos. Alright, before we venture into the Blackpits, let's take a breather first. Way back in my 7th episode, I featured my 4th Joy crafting station via the crafting overall mod, of which the links are in the description. Now, I'll do a setup tour of my workshop in the ship. Anyway, so far I've collected 2 decent merchants on board. Almira, with her non-merchant Magister Boo, and of course Tarkin here, who's still an absolute shite face. By the way, I wonder when will Fletcher Corbin get on board, cause he's still there at the sawmill. Okay, let's just go. Welcome to Dovahkiin's Lady Vengeance Workshop, brought to you by Elvasat's Crafting Overhaul. First is the Demon Altar, which always makes a bloody mess. Anyhow, this is for crafting scrolls and skill books, and I've spent hundreds of paper and dozens of hours on this to randomize/gamble for high-level scrolls, which I then convert into books. By the way, this is also a good way to farm gold, cause the profit margin between paper and scrolls is sizable. Okay, let's clean up this mess. Now the Blessed Barrel, for upgrading your arrows and nades with, of course, Bless. Next is its evil twin, the Cursed Barrel. Anyway, upgrading your ammo to either Blessed or Cursed requires a rune of Boon and Banes, which is sold by select merchants, and it's not cheap. By the way, I'm gonna feature these specific merchants later. Fourth is the Magic Altar, which has a multitude of uses, but primarily to add enchantments to your gear. Now we move on to the Crafter's Campfire. Take note, this is different from the vanilla version, though it has other uses. For me, its sole purpose is to craft strong sinew for boosting crossbows. Next is the bookcase, of which I am clueless on how to make it display my books like a normal bookcase. I tried telekinesis, by the way, ain't working as well. Too bad, cause my fane is collecting the Crafting Bible and Hubert's Encyclopedia series. Anyway, this is for housing all the crap in my miscellaneous and books and keys inventory tabs. Seventh is the Whetstone. Aside from bows and crossbows, which I already mentioned, and wands and staves, this is used for boosting weapons. By the way, in the prequel game, this station was just vanilla. Now we move on to the Crafter's Workbench. Again, This is different from the vanilla, and has many uses as well, but I mainly use it for level scaling my equipment. Ever wonder why my tunes look the same since Act 1? No shite. By the way, I featured my crafted armor set on the vid that I linked. However, in tandem with the magic altars enchantments, you'll need a mountain, literally, of ridiculously expensive gold bars to make your gear fully up to par. Though they can be crafted from golden stuff such as spoons, plates, and cups. But believe me, that ain't enough. You need to buy a lot, desperately. Next is the ingredient cabinet, which stores the stuff from my consumables, magical, and obviously ingredients tabs. Tenth is my junk chest, which is ironic cause it actually holds my collection of unique gear. And even if I'm in a desperate need of gold to buy gold bars, this collection stays pristine. But for how long? Now, not surprisingly, the 3 vanilla barrels. And finally, the distillery for crafting armor dyes. But I don't use this anymore cause buying them is much easier. Alright, on B select merchants who sell stuff for this mod. In Act 2, so far here are the ones I've discovered, but I sure do hope for more cause the problem is restock, which is 1 hour in real time, or when you level up. Though there's a trick to force restock, which involves trading with a squad mate who the vendor hates, / very low attitude towards, then switching back to your party's usual haggler. But that only works on vanilla vendors. For these ones, I have to set an alarm every hour to do shopping rounds, if I have gold to spend, that is. By the way, sometimes I just leave the game running for several hours and only come back when it's time to do some shopping. Anyway, again, this mod has the potential to make you OP, even in my mode Tactician, or in Honor. If and only if you are a meticulous guy like me who enjoys crafting, and willing to spend a shitload of time and effort into it. If not, then this ain't for you. Utilizing this mod in its full potential is significantly harder than beating the game flawlessly. In a nutshell, solving tactical problems is easier than patience. Okay, now let's travel to the Blackpits and stop an execution. This quest on the ropes is obtained from Hanek after helping her back in Cloisterwood. She's another Source Master and can update the Powerful Awakening main quest. And though I'm already fully awakened with 3 SP, like with Riker in my previous vid, I gladly accepted their quests, cause their narratives are EXP rich. Besides, they're unavoidable. Anyway, to yield max EXP from this situation, you have to stay the execution via persuasion. Then, execute the Magisters instead. Don't worry about other Magisters in the area becoming hostile, cause they won't. I'm not sure if that's because of recent updates, or just by carrying like a badge this Writ of Passage, so ordered by White Magister Raymond. By the way, if you're a follower of this series, you already know how I usually set up the battlefield and execute my meta. Thus, in this case, the only thing to note is isolating the Magisters from the Crossley family, and avoiding collateral damage as much as possible. Alright, let's see this unfold.
I beg you.
An executioner's blade hovers inches above a young woman's throat. The nearby magister drones a prayer with all the passion of a silent monk's empty gaze.
The divine does not absolve a traitor of his grace. You've tended not to the seed the seven have planted. Without faith, it cannot flourish.
He gives you a cool look and nods to a bloody corpse in magister's garb.
That's the welcome the Crosslers give to law-abiding magisters. Sorcerers, though, they get bathed and fed. Ain't that right, woman?
The young woman squeezes her eyes shut in terror, but says nothing. The executioner raises his blade. The magister slides his finger along the shivering woman's cheek.
Lucian did have a soft spot for a delicate thing like yourself. We've given the wolves and worms enough to feast on. Besides...
He passes his gaze over the woman's remaining family, then to a corpse bleeding out nearby. A child's corpse.
You prefer death to living with your fatal mistake. I trust you'll all remember your lost little boy the next time you think of defying the order. So that's the way of it, is it? Let's get this done.
The woman tearfully stretches her bound hands towards you. The grieving mother manages a thin smile, even as tears stream down her ruddy face.
Thank you, stranger.
She blinks out more tears, then rubs them away with the back of her hand and puts on the bravest of faces.
To lose a child, it's a mother's worst fear. I never imagined. It's true. What the Magister said, I mean. My brother's boy Gideon, he's got source in him. Now that his folks are gone, we've all he's got. He's been staying with us. We thought we could keep him safe. He's not got a spot of malice. He can't help who he is. But when the Magisters came snooping, he panicked. We all did.
She glances at the Magister corpse and shivers. Another tear drips down her cheek.
Shouldn't have let that Hanag woman near Gid. She said she could teach him, but that's when all the trouble started.
Her mouth falls open, but she doesn't respond. Instead, she shakes and sobs.
As soon as the Magister fell, Gid knew what he'd done. He didn't even struggle when they dragged him away. Gods know where they took him. I've already lost more than I can bear today. I pray to the Seven I haven't lost him too. You will? Oh, bless you. Bless you.
She ekes out another thin smile.
Make sure he's safe. And if you can, bring him back to me.
Okay, I just turned level 16 in that fight. And what does that mean? I'll have access to new stuff and hereafter own all remaining battles in Act 2. Well, if I wasn't already doing that. Anyway, Gideon Crossley is literally on the ropes somewhere deeper in this area, so the part of this vid is gonna be released when we get there. And that is all there is for now. Thanks for watching. Also check out other videos from Sabbath Clan Philippines and subscribe. See ya on my next vid. Peace out, y'all.